You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Tuesday the 3rd of June 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. I've done some writing today. I haven't done as much as I hoped to because I made the mistake yesterday of basically staying up until the evening. So I effectively got up in the wee small hours of the day before, did my work, did the flight, came home, stayed awake till about 8 p.m. and then went to bed. And I woke up at about 5 o'clock feeling okay, read for a bit because I'm enjoying reading again, then fell asleep again. And when I did wake up at about sort of 9 o'clock, I've just felt exhausted ever since. So what I wanted to do was do some live streaming and get some stuff signed off. But I haven't been able to do that. And yeah, I'm not going to today, realistically, I don't think. Hopefully tomorrow. But I haven't done nothing. I did actually read 2 chapters. So I read chapters, now I can't remember if it's 21 or 20. No, I think I've done 21. Hang on, he says, because this is always exceedingly well planned. Let me turn the computer on if it'll let me. Right, yeah, so I have done... Oh, this is embarrassing. Hang on. Oh, and there's something on my screen immediately where I need it to be that it won't let me shut down. Right. Embrace of the Trees. Yeah. So I've edited chapter 21 already. I did that the other day. So I did it yesterday. So today I read through and did the screen edits of chapters 22 and 23. And I'd forgotten because the story's cracked on at a bit of a pace, actually. I didn't realise everything started, ramping up this quickly, which is quite good. So chapter 22 it's not a one scene chapter, but it's a one strand chapter. It's only really got one bit of narrative. So it follows Carruthers as he goes up to the Highlands and finally makes contact with Mackenzie. And it's kind of nice because he kind of says to him, look, I know I've let you down. I can't change that, but I am going to be here for you now. I am going to help you in any way that I can now. And I don't think Mackenzie exactly forgives him, but I think he understands the seriousness of the situation he's in and understands that, the man in front of him is very different to the man he first met, and he will do his best to look after him. So it's not exactly a reconciliation, but it's kind of an acknowledgement by Mackenzie that I need this man's help and I'm going to have to accept it. And yeah, so that's quite nice. And then the chapter after that, I'd forgotten things came to such a head so quickly. It introduces a new strand to the story. So there are 3 Norns in I think it's Greek mythology, and they live, I think, in the Tree of Life. That's probably a gross kind of not bastardization, but simplification of the myth. But there are 3 Norns, and they represent past, present, and future, and they're called where am I getting this right? Ursu, which Ursula is named after. Veroandi, which Ronnie is named after. They represent the past and the present, and the future are represented by a Norn called Skuld. Now, in this book, this is the first time we see that third iteration of the creatures that have been made into several of my characters. So both Ursula, Ronnie, Carruthers, Mackenzie, Farnborough, they're all Lord Farnborough. They're all they're all Norn. They're all based on the past and present Norn. And there's a bit earlier in the book where Gordon Oakley sort of says, well, there are 3 strands to this myth. If you're the Ursu and Ronnie is Veroandi, where are the Skuld? And the answer that Ursula gives is fairly enigmatic. Well, it gets answered in this chapter. The Skuld are effectively wooden warriors that the trees can release. They're not human looking. They're human shaped, but they're not human looking. And they have basically got the task of protecting the Yakunda, so the designated survivors, and they will do anything they have to do that. They're also effectively foot soldiers for the trees if they need them, and they are released in a way. And it's an interesting chapter because Ronnie actually says to her military escort, whatever you do, do not raise a weapon to this thing. You know, well, she doesn't actually say what's going to happen, but she says you'll see something that surprises you. Do not raise, whatever you do not raise your gun. And one of her 3 protection officers raises a gun and gets killed by this manifestation from the tree. But also her other protection officer, Adrian Vickers, also raises the gun and isn't killed. So, of course, the army are like, why is that? And they start to think there might be something within him genetically that prevented him from being attacked. So I think it must be in the next chapter that Ronnie finds out that he's going to be shipped off and effectively tests done on him to work out why these things wouldn't attack him. So yeah, it's all reaching ahead, and I'm really pleased with what I've read today. I enjoyed what I've read today. Hopefully I'll be less tired tomorrow, and maybe I'll get those 2 chapters signed off in a live stream or something like that. I've got quite a lot on tomorrow, so I've got a haircut, and I've got my local bookshop actually they do reading clubs, or you know book clubs, but they've also got a writing group. Now I don't really know what to expect because the website doesn't specify, and I did ask the lady who runs the shop, or one of the managers, and she says, well, she doesn't really know the detail because she doesn't run the session. So yeah, I'm going to that tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. But hopefully between them, or even after the writing session, because I haven't got an early start at work the day after, hopefully I'll get something done and get maybe one or those 2 chapters signed off. Anyway, that's me for today. So it hasn't been entirely unproductive. Hopefully I'll be less tired tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.